Hey, Skylar here with your news digest for July 26th. It's a Sunday, so the news cycle is a bit quieter, but there are some genuinely interesting things to talk about. From new AI models that simulate entire desktops to a major industry letter backing open-weight AI. Let's get into it. Anthropic published a blog post this weekend called The New Rules of Context Engineering for Claude 5 generation models. It's trending heavily on Hacker News, and for good reason. It's essentially a playbook for getting the most out of next-gen language models through smart prompt architecture. The timing is interesting here. Claude 5 isn't even publicly available yet, but Anthropic is already teaching developers how to think about context engineering as a first-class skill. I think this signals something bigger. The companies that win in this generation won't just have the best models, they'll have the best developer education. Next up, Sakana AI released Fugu-Cyber, a new cybersecurity orchestration model that scored 86.9% on CyberGym and 72% on Microsoft's CTI REALM benchmark. This is a gated model, not fully open, but the numbers are impressive. What I like about Sakana's approach is that they're not just building another general-purpose model. They're specializing in operational security tasks that real security teams actually need. Agentic AI for cybersecurity has been one of those coming soon promises for a while now. Fugu-Cyber feels like a concrete step toward delivery. On a different note, Induction Labs introduced something they're calling an imagination model. Photon 1 is a 106 billion parameter mixture of experts model trained on 18 years of unlabeled screen recordings. And here's what's wild. From a single pre-training run, it can simulate desktop interactions, play checkers, and model billiard physics. It doesn't need task-specific fine-tuning for each of these. The idea of training on raw screen recordings as a universal data source is genuinely clever. It sidesteps the whole text-only bottleneck and captures how humans actually interact with computers. Switching gears to policy. 24 major tech companies, including Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and IBM signed an open letter urging U.S. policymakers to protect open-weight AI models. The letter frames open-weight AI as essential for innovation, academic research, and economic competitiveness. This matters because there's real tension right now between the regulate everything camp and the open models are a strategic advantage camp. Seeing this coalition form tells you which way the wind is blowing in industry. They're drawing a line. For the creative AI folks, there's a new ultra-compact TTS model on Hugging Face called Inflect Micro version 2. It achieves complete text-to-speech in just 9.36 million parameters. To put that in perspective, most production TTS systems use hundreds of millions of parameters. This thing is small enough to run on a phone, offline, with no API calls. Voice AI at the edge is becoming real faster than most people expect. And Inflect Micro is a great example of how efficient these models are getting. And finally, KwaiKAT released KAT Coder version 2.5, an agentic coding model trained on over 100,000 verifiable repository environments. It scored 94.9 on PinchBench, which is a benchmark specifically designed to measure how well AI can navigate real code bases, not just write functions in isolation. The key word here is verifiable. These aren't synthetic training environments. They're actual repositories where the model had to produce code that compiles and passes tests. That's the kind of training signal that produces coding agents you can actually trust. All right, 3 quick things to try. First, read Anthropic's context engineering blog post. It's free and it'll change how you prompt. Second, check out Inflect Micro V2 on Hugging Face and try running it locally. Third, if you're building AI coding tools, study KAT Coder's approach to verifiable training environments. That's the pattern to replicate. That's your digest for July 26th. Full details and links are on the site. Catch you next time. Bye.